In the media, in politics, they're all the time talking about abortion, about reproductive rights, abortion in a way, about the birth decline. You know that because Italy has a very low birth rate, for example. Whole Europe has a low birth rate, or about this subject of reconciliation of work and family. So this is all the time in the media and also a subject on in politics. Now, the studies also, I will present also a little bit of my studies, show that mothers are in extreme distress. They have to combine now everything. Before there was only being a housewife and so on. Now they have choices apparently, but we will see how much choices they really have. And I found that there are really no appropriate answers to the situation of mothers today. My thesis is we are living a patriarchal motherhood, which is a radical transformation towards a normative and artificial creation. I will afterwards talk about what I understand with patriarchy. My approach is from political science, from gender studies, sociology, demography. I did a lot of studies in these fields, and what my starting point is the critical theory of patriarchy, which we have developed at the University of Innsbruck, together with Claudia Waldhoff and others. Simone Wöber is here too. Can you just show yourself? She's one of the group. It's a process. It was a process of 20 years or more than that at the Department of Political Science at the University of Innsbruck, where we have developed together a discourse on patriarchy. Now, how do I define patriarchy? There are many old definitions. As you know, the word is like forbidden, more or less, like the F word. They say sometimes, like feminism, patriarchy are all vanishing. In the 90s, they were still talking about patriarchy. For example, Berner or Walby, they defined it as a system of dominance which compromises all structures and institutions. And then, as I say, gender came along, and those of you who work in the feminist field of women's studies know that even the word women's studies has disappeared. Usually now sometimes they're called women's studies or gender studies departments, or they have disappeared completely, and now we're talking only about gender. Why am I criticizing this? Because what has happened now in the theoretical discourse is that there is a focus on subjectivity, on identity problems, and neglecting a systemic view of patriarchy. Also, the understanding of feminism has got completely arbitrary. Naturally, everybody calls, or each woman now who is leading, or many women call themselves perhaps feminist, or I don't know, by example, Hillary Clinton, yes, she is a feminist, yes, she does a lot for women, but she's also for war. And she never was against war. So, do we want that? That's really the question. Or within the European Union, there is a lot of ongoing of programs, gender, they call it gender mainstreaming. I find that very interesting, because did women really want to get mainstreamed? Okay, so there is a lot of discussion about how do we use it. What is feminism? Everybody call itself feminist, but is it really feminist, or how do we define it more? Now the result is, oh my God. What is this?
No. No.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Take it easy. What is the result? Feminism is losing its transformative power. I'm very happy that there is a Casa delle Donne in Italy. It's one of really these rare casas, or these rare houses which still exist. I come from Austria, from Vienna. There is still a women's house, but all the All the publishers are disappearing. Oh my God, I don't know what's happening here. I'm sorry. So what I want to say is that feminism is losing its transformative power because the terminology is so unclear now. So we have to see that there is a connection of the suffering of the mother, the nature, and the earth. So this is one point which is not seen anymore. The other one is we have to understand that patriarchy is a system. So now, what is the critical theory of patriarchy? I quote here the project group. This is the groups who have published about this in Claudia Wellhoff. It's a transdisciplinary meta-theory because it goes really over. It arches other disciplines. It's an epistemological theory, how we can understand reality. And the main idea, the important idea is the father wants to replace the mother. This is the illusional idea. I would say also it's a delusion. In German we say it's a Wahn, it's a kind of madness, because naturally this is an aim, but the father can never replace the mother. What is going on, for example, now in economy, everything is getting transformed into a commodity, everything is transformed into a raw material so that you can commercialize it. The purpose is to create a new artificial world. This is how we define also what is going on in patriarchy. Characteristics of patriarchal motherhood. This is now my results and my resume on my empirical studies. I did a lot on motherhood, family policy and family. Motherhood is an institution. It was institutionalized so that reproduction can be controlled. And it was individualized. So now only the biological mother is responsible, which causes a lot of problems, because 24 hours with a child is awful, as everybody knows. And also she's completely overwhelmed. We have an unbalanced distribution of household and child rearing. All the studies always show the intention of fathers, as when we speak about the nuclear family, fathers want to share, so the intentions and the values of fatherhood have changed. The reality, the facts have not changed. During the last 30 years, women are bearing the most burden. And when you compare work and unpaid, as paid work and unpaid work together, women work always more. Marginalization of single mothers, what do I mean? For example, there's in the United States a big discourse on single mothers, especially. It also has a race thing in it. Black mothers are getting blamed. They're not able to keep the husband at home. They're always raising the children only among women. I mean, what is that? So also when the father is absent, this is one of the real characteristics of patriarchy, that even when he is absent, he's still an important topic. It's always this absence of fatherhood. That's why I say ambiguous fatherhood. There is a movement within men who want to be active fathers, and also from politics it's very encouraged. Parental leave is also existing for men. But the reality shows that fathers are not really active, but they claim the rights to have the children. Population politics and motherhood, just one word. As I said before, mothers today are in a trap, which means either they can choose when they have children, either they can choose being a dependent housewife, which is not a wise idea because the divorce rates are about 50%, or they have a part-time work without opportunities for a living wage because part-time work doesn't make enough work, or they have the triple burden of motherhood, household and full-time employment. So what we have now is the exhausted generation. The roots of patriarchal motherhood, it's an ideological idea, as I said. It's the implication that violence is normal, and I would say the nuclear family, this normative concept, is working very good. Let's say like this: mothers historically first enemies of politics. What do I mean? Even in Greece, for example, women were always standing up against war because they don't want to sacrifice their children. And the motherhood movements are the most dangerous, I would say, for what is going on at the moment with all these war crimes and wars which are going on, because the motherhood movements in all the countries wanted to make long, for example, Palestine conflict, there are long efforts behind that the mothers would have reunited and made peace since a long time. Now, the Roman law is naturally important because it established the marriage as the norm, and then independent motherhood as a crime, and the unmarried mother. We know these sad stories from centuries when women committed suicide when they got pregnant. So being pregnant is only allowed in the marriage. This is the norm. I'm speaking now about the norms because things are changing. That's true. Now, the essence of patriarchal motherhood, that's why I'm speaking about the perversion. So what is made now out of this culture of mothering? The mother shall not care about her own needs. She shall follow an ideal of heterosexual partnership. She shall live in pain and alienation. She shall do her duty in favor of family and work machine. That's how I call it, or also do the reproductive duties in favor of the forefather state. The culture of mothering shall vanish. Cooking, craft, female network, and so on and so on. They are ridiculed. They are always proposed as they are just a surrogate for the father who should be present. Women shall want to get rid of their maternal potency in favor of technicians who create now the supposedly better outcomes. These are the methods. I will leave this out now, but what do I mean? The key climax of this abolishing of motherhood is the technology. I want to talk now very short about giving you another idea how it could be, how other cultures are living, and others will give very interesting talks about this. For example, Heidegger and Abendroth. What is matrilinear motherhood? What is matriarchal motherhood? There is a form how to create, how they live family, which is completely different from Western societies. In the so-called matriarchal societies, like in Mosul in China or the Kasi in India, motherhood is understood as a collective caring principle carried out by many instead of a sole mother. Family means the maternal line is not defined by marriage. Marriage exists in parts, but all the erotic relationships are considered to be personal. The mother's brother is the social father, not the biological father. And it's what I want to say with this: the understanding is that the belonging and sharing is this what creates really the center of the family, and this is the center of the family is the mother-child relationship. And so in these societies there is a movement away from and toward to the mother. What do I mean by this? For example, if women are leaving their mothers and have their own family and then would return with their children to their mothers, it would always be estimated or judged as a lack of adultness and so on, or as having failed in your career and your life. But this is what makes the relationship between mother and child, that it's a back and forth, that she will always come back, and it's not considered to be weakness. Motherhood is a collective principle, as I said, and also it's a very different understanding of how they live motherhood in family. Okay, conclusions. I just want to say, by using and applying the critical theory of pedagogy, we understand we really have to understand physical motherhood should be abolished. I know that part of the women's movement is, for example, Haraway and so on, they are in favor of this abolishment, but according to our theory and our approach, we say no, it is a threat for women. Patriarchal motherhood represents only an intermediate step towards her being artificially surrogated. Also, these are the methods I'm saying, divide et impera, like the old Romans always did, divide and rule. And we need to stop believing in the patriarchal motherhood and gain back maternal authority. Thank you for your attention.